but I have gotten word that sides have been swapped. It's going to be Hawkthorne taking red side now as we get on into draft. Wukong once again banned out. TDS once again. What are you looking for in this draft?
Xinjiao. I feel like now that Lotus White changed sides, the Xinjiao should be either banned or you have to have a really good counter. And from the first game, we saw that Trundle wasn't that. So unless you have something really good that can just go in against the Xinjiao early on, then it's going to be really hard. And I am not sold out on the Kayn just because, yes, it did win the game and yes, it was important, but if not for the throw and a couple of really badly contested plays, the Xinjiao would have almost completely run over the game. He was always there to counter the Kayn really well. And the dive setups he did was really good. We saw a play on bot lane that he didn't even die. He was close to just dying and they couldn't kill him. So I feel like Xinjiao right now is at the top spot for contested picks in the series. And if Hawkthorne doesn't ban it, they need to have something really good against it. Yeah, they're going to ban it. I just don't think that champion right now should be left open for either of these teams.
Yeah, well, it does look like the Xin Zhao will be the ban. I have to agree, Xin Zhao looking pretty strong, but I do have some important news for you all. I have just heard from production that Counters has arrived.
Oh.
He is here in the AD carry position to fill in for Hawkthorne, which means that Hawkthorne might have the boost that they need. They have who many would say is their best player stepping up back into the roster, so maybe we could put our brooms away here in game number 3, but we got to hold that thought because Nocturne has been locked in as well. Just with the arrival of the AD carry, they say they want to ruin his day. I believe it was banned in both games 1 and 2, but Shyvana gonna be the response.
I don't
have to agree. I'm not sure how I feel about that one, especially into the Nocturne. I mean, it can do very well. It farms faster, but the global pressure is immense.
And the thing is, this doesn't mean that it's a Shyvana jungle. It can perfectly be a Shyvana top. I've seen Shyvana top, and you now are in a meta that you can probably run Ignite on top lane and don't suffer that much. But it's surprising to say the least. But if they are throwing it out at the last game, the last possible game of the grand finals, they must have a plan with the Shyvana. I don't think it has to come blindly. And the Leona, then I'm okay with the Leona and having an easy to execute setup with the Shyvana. In the Leona, I think it's the correct idea in terms of the 2 picks that you are going for right now.
Yep, tend to agree. I have to imagine Shyvana has been something that this team has been sitting on for a while. It'll be interesting to see whether or not that does go into the top lane or the jungle. I would still think the jungle does in the 1v1 pair up pretty nicely against the Nocturne. It's just once level 6 comes through, you really have to be watching your back around the map, especially with how cleanly we've seen Lotus White rotate and execute plays on a team. I feel like they have been the more patient team so far in this series, and it has paid dividends for them, but the Mordekais are getting picked up. This time around, that's a hard counter pick into the Shen matchup coming through for Godzilla. Maybe, just maybe, he'll be able to secure an advantage in the top lane after 2 relatively tame tank matchups in game 1 and 2.
Yeah, they didn't give him much resources in the previous 2 games, so having the Mordekaiser now seems like an interesting way to say, go on, try and carry the game with this. And the Mordekaiser can probably pull it off. We need to wait and see if the Shen is a Shen top, because like you were saying on the first game, it can probably be a Shen jungle as well. So we need to still wait and see, but I like already what the side of Hawkthorne is doing, giving more priority towards the top lane, because bot lane hasn't really been that much of an impact in terms of the early game presence. So I think topside having more power early on is probably better for both of these teams. And the Shen, even though you typically don't see him having that much power, him having the Stand United can go so well with the Nocturne trying to dive as soon as he hits level 6. So at least there's that idea of combination going in those 2 champions. And Hawkthorne goes for the Ezreal. I like the Ezreal pick, having him be safe enough so that even if he's alone, he can just run away with Sarkin Shiv on the flash, because I feel like Mordekaiser, Leona, and Shyvana want to try and play in while the Ezreal will kite away. So if you're playing like that, having the safety in the Ezreal is much more valuable.
Yeah, I have to agree. The Ezreal pick, really big fan of this, actually, because you mentioned the old school submarine comp with the Shen and the Nocturne flying in the back line, trying to lock you down. And be immune to your auto attacks all at the same time. So picking up the Ezreal, very safe option, especially with the likes of Kai'Sa and Akali coming through as well. Gives you so much self-agency here for counters, which I think is absolutely essential. You know, if he was on something like the Ziggs this time around, I think it would definitely be a tricky matchup to play into. So very excited at how Counter's able to pilot this one. Of course, he is, you know, the return of the king, trying to come back, lift his team out of the O2 hole that they find themselves in. But is that a Qiyana hover coming through? We got a Qiyana against the Akali lane.
Okay.
I don't care about anything else. That is the spiciest pick of the draft.
Yeah, and we're like, just these two drafts, they are super accurate drafts. The Lotus White draft wants to go in full, go dirty and fight you in the dirt, like just get in and fight. And the side of Hawkthorne kind of want to do the same. The only thing that does not want to do that is the Ezreal, but he can go in as well with the distance that he has. So like there's a lot to digest from both of these drafts, but once again, we're going to see a lot of fights and a lot of action just based on the picks. And the Qiyana and the Akali, like you were saying, a spicy matchup. I think the Akali should be favored to some degree, but Qiyana is a champion that you never expect what she can do, and Akali was nerfed in this patch particularly. So I'm all up to seeing the mid lane what it ends up happening.
Yeah, Akali definitely, in this mid lane matchup, she has the shove and generally a bit of an advantage in terms of sustain due to having energy and not mana cost, but Qiyana's trading pattern can become very uninteractive really quickly if she's able to land that water edge of Ishtal onto you and knock you down. Takes a big chunk off you. So, you know, definitely gonna be looking for that. And I feel like for Hardstock Brother as well, you know, he's roaming a lot on the Lucian. This time around, the Qiyana even more interested in roaming. These two teams definitely gonna be looking to scrap around the Rift. I'm really liking both the compositions coming out. I feel like Hawkthorne at this point, they've said they're down 0-2. They're gonna try to throw down the gauntlet and fight you, but Lotus White, they're going to opt into it. We've seen scrappy team fights all series, you know, lots of messy spread out fights, especially I think back to last game around, I think it was the third dragon of the game when all these teams just fighting each other back to back to back. Everybody showing up to the party one by one, and I feel like that benefits both these compositions a lot. All eyes for sure on the double assassin matchup in the mid lane, but I want to look towards the jungle matchup a little bit more because it is the Nocturne against the Shyvana. What we predicted early on in the draft. I have to favor Shyvana once again in the one-on-one due to the fast clearing speed, but I feel like Nocturne with that level 6 and the volatile lane matchups, the gank pressure cannot be understated.
Yeah, and I love that you go for that point because that is the particular point that is going to tip things. Shyvana has a very quick clear, and on 1v1 alone isolated, the Shyvana is favorable, but Nocturne doesn't want to fight in reality. He wants to go towards his level 6, and when he gets to level 6, that's when he actually has the power and the ability to be able to do what he wants to do and use Paranoia on cooldown to get kills, to get priority, and be a menace on the map. I think it's going to be really important to notice now that Shyvana is going to be playing in this particular game, the priority in lanes will be much more important because having priority means that you will have advantage going for objectives, and the Drakes are much more valuable for Shyvana than any other jungler because that there are extra buffs that she can use more effectively in comparison to other junglers. So I want to see if Hawkthorne does prioritize getting the Drakes really early on so that they will have much more power in the Shyvana alone, or if they are just going to try and focus on fighting really early on. Because, like you were saying, Paranoia, it's going to be the cooldown that will decide what happens after the, I think, first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say, I think something that benefits Hawkthorne is the fact that there's not really any gank options in the side lanes. It's an Ezreal and a Mordekaiser, both of them very safe in their own right. Mordekaiser can just remove somebody from the fight. Ezreal just shifts away. And that means that all eyes probably going to be on the mid lane, which definitely something that the Nocturne's going to want to do. Lotus White wants to look that way, but Hawkthorne should expect that this is coming, and I would hope Arf is able to look for counter ganks towards that and try to deny potential plays with Paranoia. But he's got to be careful himself. If he gets caught out, the Akali Nocturne collapsing on you really quick, that could all of a sudden turn south as well. So definitely something to keep your eyes on. Mid jungle 2v2 this time around, not being sacked by Lotus White. Akali Nocturne against Shyvana Qiyana. I have to take the Shyvana Qiyana in the early game by just a little bit, but I think it really is going to come down to execution. I mean, there's so many mechanical plays that can happen, so much AoE to be lined up, so many different things to look for.
Yeah, and just like you, I just feel like Paranoia is way too valuable of a cooldown that when you get it, you can turn the tables on almost any other jungler. But before that, the power spikes from Nocturne are not that good. It's not like lane Nocturne that does have power on the laning phase, and he can actually pressure the enemy laner. On jungle, you will be the one that is trying to respond and will be coming from a certain distance, so the 2v2 can be harder to execute that way. So I agree with you, Kiana, Shyvana should probably have a fairly good advantage in the early 2v2, but as soon as level 6 are hit, I will favor the Akali and the Nocturne. That 2v2, it's just one target will die 100%. That I would be surprised if no one dies with that 2v2 burst damage coming through, and the Shen as well.
Right. Well, it's going to be all of the lights here on game number 3 of the Light League Finals, or maybe all the lights being turned off because the Paranoia is going to be coming through. Nocturne locked in, Kiana locked in. We've got some excitement. It is Lotus White up 2-0 on the blue side, Hawkthorne on the opposite side on the red. It's game number 3. It's Light League Finals. We'll see you in game.
Summoners, welcome back onto the Rift for game number 3 of the best of 5 series for Lotus League Finals. It's looking like Lotus League right now as they're up 2-0, but Hawkthorne is back in this series, Counters is back in this series, and they're looking to make this one interesting for us with their back up against the wall. There's nowhere else to go but up. He's on the Ezreal for this one, and it's going to be an exciting game 3 as we've got some very interesting compositions laid out for us. My name is Mac Dewey, and still with me in the casting booth is none other than the one and only Sulpan.
Happy to be here, and this could be the potential of a wonderful redemption arc. Counters is back on the table here on the Ezreal, potentially the best AD carry possible to try and avoid being dove on, has the Arcane Shift, has the option to build into a slightly more tank oriented either item or just, you know, a few more hit points on your health bar as well. So should be okay to sustain through some of this dive if assuming he can survive the initial burst. But if he doesn't, it's gonna be another Lotus White victory as they just needed to charge forward with such aggressive picks here. Killer Instinct, Shen on the Stand United on top of Smart Pants on the Paranoia. There's a lot of dangerous options here, and really one dive target on the side of Hawkthorne.
You know, and I'm glad you do bring up that Shen ultimate, Sulpan, because I am looking for another pop-off performance from none other than Common Taco. He played lights out in Gage on the Orin last game, as well as through this series, has consistently put Godzilla down just through wave management and better lane training. This time around, though, Sulpan, he's in a bit of a tough matchup. The Shen Mordekaiser definitely favoring the Mordekaiser, so maybe Godzilla does his part here in game 3 to help Hawkthorne come back in finals.
Yeah, already bullying him out just a little bit, doing exactly what he needs to on this Mordekaiser, but really needs to eye the ability to go for these solo kills. Another huge thing here is you can completely take the Nocturne out of the dive equation, or the Akali or the Shen, and make this Ezreal's life just a little bit easier, but he has to maintain that lead so he doesn't just die in his own death realm.
Yeah, that's the tricky part. Necrox and Firestreaks, though, taking a look at this bot lane, a much closer matchup, I think, this time around. Necrox on not that Vayne from game 1 or the Aphelios in game 2. Kind of back on the short range from game number 1. He's going to have his work cut out for him on this Kai'Sa pick, especially just playing very carefully in lane. Because a moment's notice, a blink of the eye, and Matty Mice can find a surprise engage.
Yeah, a big part of this game too is going to be the fact that these junglers really don't come online until level 6. Shyvana arguably never, but really just able to play on the neutral objectives will make her, you know, a key factor in those fights. So when they're fighting out in the middle of river and she has the ability to run people down and they can't just run underneath the tower, that's when she's effective. But she won't be able to really play for these lane ganks. So every member of Hawkthorne has to play lane extremely effectively. And that includes this pocket pick Kiana here in the mid lane for Hardstuck Brother in a tough matchup against the Akali.
Arth should be spotted out on the bottom side river by Lotus White. We see Smart Pants on the top side of the map. Looks like just going to be doing a full clear, as you said, Sulpan. None of these junglers really coming on until the mid game. What do you think we're going to be seeing out of this Shyvana jungle? Did decide to go for Dark Harvest, and there is an AD mid laner. Are we going to see AP Shyvana in the jungle? And I think that question just got answered with the Blasting Wand picked up early.
Yeah, Blasting Wand, definitely the option here for Shyvana. The AD build's kind of been out of the meta, and just generally the AD Shyvana build has been considered weaker for a very long time.
Yeah.
So the ability to have this AD mid laner jumped in on Hardstuck Brother makes this AP Shyvana build just that much more effective. Armor stacking, I mean, very difficult against this team, especially with the damage that Shyvana can bring in the later stages of the game with that Dragon's Ascent / Flame Breath combo.
And it is a little bit of an awkward position, I think, for the Lotus laners here as Necrox and Common Taco across the board. All they're really able to do is try to shove the waves into the tower, get a safe recall up. They are up in CS, but Hawkthorne Esports not getting down in the dirt too early like we saw in Game 1. They're managing themselves just fine so far.
Yeah, and you know, you gotta feel at least happy about that much, as like I said earlier, the lane matchups here matters so much. You cannot get solo killed, you cannot fall behind. Your Shyvana will not be able to bail you out. This is the first game that they've really not had an early game gank-oriented jungler, as even when he's playing the Trundle, that's what Arth was playing for. He was playing for these lane ganks, trying to make something happen on the map. And this time it's just going to be a farm game, looking to get prio bot here with the Leona Ezreal, which is going to be tough, and then trying to take these early dragons as quickly as possible.
In Alucard, I think, in kind of the biggest pressure position across the board. He had the safe Corki, he had the safe Vladimir for the late game. Now he's on this playmaking Akali. He's going to have to show us just why, Sulpin, he was put into that first team all-pro mid lane spot here with hopefully a historic performance here in finals. He's got to find a way to pop off.
First level 6 here as well. So both these mid laners very volatile. Know that they don't want any of these solo kills to get dropped. Arth and Smart Pants just trading sides of the jungle that they're on. Hasn't actually spotted out this Nocturne yet. If he knew he was topside, I imagine this would be an instant dragon take. But here's what this mid lane matchup has just got me so nervous for both these, for both St. Alucard and Hardstuck Brother.
I know, right? There's no one playing safe here in Game 2. We see Common Taco able to play a little aggressively. He has the level lead as well as the Stand United. Notably, though, look at Arth. He's on the jungle after, or on the dragon, excuse me, after clearing out the vision. Very important for the Shyvana to pick up that objective. Exactly what Hawkthorne wanted.
Look at how mirrored the jungle is. Both these yellow timers popping up on the camps at the exact same time. So both of these junglers red side jungle spawning at the exact same time. They've taken the exact same camps. Just slight advantage to Arth here. Smart Pants was looking for a camp to steal away because they both just been fulcring this whole game. There's just nothing on the map for either of them to steal away. But here comes an invade from Arth, a little bit interesting from the Shyvana.
He is level 6. Smart Pants only level 5. He's looking for a huge wraparound gank here into the bot lane. Matty Mice finding the Zenith Blade. There is Necrox taking low. The Dragon is coming in. Stand United teleports across the board. We have got a rumble in the bot lane. Alucard and a huge talk coming in from Taco. That's the engage. Lotus wanted to make here its first blood, going over to Alucard. The play in the bot lane, going the way of Lotus Lane. Godzilla in the back line trying to make it work. There's the Shuriken in the Captain Rain coming through. Necrox has a kill onto Matty Mice. Now it's Godzilla stuck alone, concussed and stunned up. Lotus White get their perfect fight in the bot lane. 2 kills going over to Necrox, and Alucard Taco finding the perfect play down there.
And everyone shows up. I didn't comment on it earlier, but Hardstuck Brother has the Ignite. He can't teleport to this fight. Shen on the Stand United. Smart Pants just right place, right time. They managed to find everything they want here. And now Hardstuck Brother trying to find some form of rebuttal. But with Ignite on this in this mid lane matchup, hasn't been able to find the lane pressure he wants to keep the Akali here in the middle lane.
He was able to shove in that mid wave. But funny enough, it's Alucard with the level lead despite being down quite a bit of CS. Arth, beautiful jungle pathing there, but it just wasn't his play to make at the end of the day. They tried to burst down Necrox, but Firestreaks had him with the support. The Paranoia coming into the mid lane. The Shuriken is waiting. Alucard perfectly played here on the Akali, the first team all-pro mid laner. Sulpin is showing up in a big way here in Game 3.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I was gonna say earlier that Nocturne hadn't been level 6, so he couldn't have used the Paranoia. Just now coming online, immediately finds the trade onto an overly aggressive Hardstuck brother, not respecting the Nocturne there in the jungle. Just dives in on and finds another kill here on the map for Lotus White, and they're looking so strong here in this game 3.
Oh, Necrox and Firestreaks there in the bot lane, so badly wanting to try to extend that fight. Now a level 6 advantage over to the support here. Matty Mice desperately trying to get that Solar Flare online. There it is. The bot lane a little more evened up here. Necrox has only 500 gold still in his pocket. He did get that back off earlier, not in an insane position, but is he going to take the Killer Instinct here? Counter is low. The concussive blows was on him, but Necrox, it's finals. We've seen this play consistently from Lotus White. They've been controlled. They have also been able to be aggressive. Now let's see how they respond to the Solar Flare and Arth coming down. Necrox again very low. It does barely get the shield off, trying to survive, but counters with the kill. The shutdown over. 2 kills going over to Hawkthorne in the bot lane. Kamentaku getting so low. He's taken down in the death realm. Now it is a massive Godzilla getting feared up. Smart Pants with the return kill.
Yep, good timing there on the roam from Smart Pants, but that's the power of the Mordekaiser and Shen matchup. The only tanky ability they really have to keep himself alive is just useless against Mordekaiser. He doesn't rely on auto attacks for damage, but in the mid lane,
oh my gosh, Alucard does have that final perfect execution. Archduke brother, not with the best flash. He's gonna get taken down now. Matty Mice, gotta be careful in this bot lane. Arth no ultimate, but Alucard on the Akali. Oh my word, Sulpin, he's having himself a game.
yeah, unfortunately no Prowler's Claw available for this Kiana, and that's what makes her super, super powerful. The ability to have that extra additional mobility plus damage boost on that champion is just insane, but it's not online yet. So Hardstuck brother hasn't hit this key item spike on this Kiana mid lane and just ends up getting soloed there despite having Ignite. When you take Ignite, you're playing for the lane dominance and you just can't get it despite seeing Alucard not having the same summoner advantage here in the middle lane.
And this is kind of interesting because now at this point we see Godzilla in the top lane. Someone who you talked about, Sulpin, is an interrupter potentially in the team fights, picking one of the assassins out. Maybe it's going to be Smart Pants, maybe it's going to be Alucard, but now both of them are ahead and it becomes suddenly a bit of a scary situation for Godzilla to try to take them on 1v1, especially as we consider the dragon spawning up in 10 seconds, no teleports for the top laners, but Lotus White still in control.
Gonna be very important to consider his build as well here. He has opted towards the plated steel caps, not Ninja Tabby. I got it this time. And because he's going towards this armor-oriented build, he's gonna be in a much better position to try and take on Smart Pants or Kamentaku in that death realm. Selling Alucard will be a different story, and I'm not sure if that's a fight he wants to take.
Look at the insane amount of vision control around this upcoming dragon for Lotus, but I still don't think it's caught out Arth, who's hiding in that bush, ready for the engage onto a poor Necrox, who may just not be ready. No Solar Flare used there. Matty Mice, he doesn't pull the trigger. There's the engage coming in now, though. Arth getting absolutely destroyed. Alu God coming in, misses the shuriken, but it doesn't matter. Smart Pants is handling business. Soulfins here is a nightmare coming in for counters. Coming into game 3, struggling to find his mark as everything is going right. There's the mark coming from counters. Oh my word, what a snipe.
And so getting 1 kill off the back of that, but that was a play that they opted into. They chose to fight in that choke point. They chose to fight despite St. Alucard having the rotation and the roam ability over Hardstuck brother here in the mid lane. And even though they didn't need to burn globals there, they're still Stand United available on Kamentaku. They had so many options here to make this fight turnaround happen, and they didn't even need all the tools in their kit.
Man, 3 games of Light League finals. It is light and breezy on the Rift here, as for the 3rd game in a row, it is going to be a potential Cloud Soul. Both teams tied in the Dragon department 1-1 as Alucard. We didn't see that missed cannon minion, no worries at all. Rift Herald is on the map. Turret planning going to be falling in just a little bit.
Well, this just makes perfect sense, of course. We're Light League, so we're about at the 1/3 of the power of Pro, right? So rather than Cloud 9, we get Cloud 3, but it's a potential solo kill the top lane as Godzilla's looking aggressive.
He's trying to keep him in the death realm, but Kamentaku just going to walk out just fine. He's going to be sticking in lane for a little bit, does have that Stand United still available.
Yeah, so I believe he popped the death realm thinking it wouldn't be in tower range, but Kamentaku just goes to the as far back as possible. It's just barely in range, and he can't make any kind of trade happen there. So Godzilla went for a few autos, wasn't able to find much thanks to the W from the Shen there to keep himself nice and or to keep that health bar relatively high. And he'll just be fine in the top lane. No Death Realm available to go for that kill anymore. And he, like you said, still has the Stand United, so he could just kite out away from this Mordekaiser and look to make a play somewhere else on the map.
We see now Smart Pants headed up to the top side of the map. Arth still up there as well, has the Gnasher's Tooth online. Could be a little fight around the top lane or even this Rift Herald, as it is the Paranoia going on to the Death Realm as Godzilla, but here is backup, here's reinforcements. There is Arth, the dragon coming in, does miss the E onto Common Taco. Smart Pants trying to stay alive, trying to dish out the damage. Alucard coming in on a rampage. Matty Mice gonna get taken down, but look at the supreme display of talent and the perfect execution coming in. It's a double kill for Alucard up in the top lane.
And despite the roams coming through, there's once again just too many tools in the belt here for Lotus White. Everyone shows up to the party. They always have the man advantage, and Lotus White, despite having a really good engagement there from the Death Grasp plus Flame Breath, aren't able to find anything there as his Stand United keeps his teammate alive for as long as possible. Smart Pants eventually going down, but they once again find a favorable trade here in the top lane.
As well as Necrox and Fire Streaks getting an advantage into the bot lane at the 15-minute mark, Sulpan. It is Lotus White, the #1 seed, looking for their title, hungry for it. They've got a 3,000 lead as the next dragon going to be spawning in just over 2 minutes. Alucard 2 levels up on just about everyone on the Rift.
And not just that, 5-0 on this Akali Riftmaker already online, and really the entire team of Lotus White has got their mythic items available. Only Shen missing out on his, and on the other side of the river, you only have the Eclipse and Divine Sunderer on these two carries for the side of Hawkthorne Esports.
We do see Hawkthorne looking to group up in this bot lane, trying to take the explosive cone over. Necrox and Fire Streaks is that tri-brush ward, gonna spot them out. It is 5 people coming into the bot lane. Godzilla coming in, sends Necrox to the Death Realm. Fire Streaks, not much left to run. He's just gonna walk out. Poor Necrox, oh my goodness. 5-on-1, can't even handle it. Fire Streaks running for the hill, calling the Amber Alert, because Necrox is missing after that one.
But what did you gain off the back of this pick? How many members did it take you to send down here to kill 180 carry? They burned the Death Realm as well when they had 5 members just sitting around waiting for him to pop back out. I'm not sure if the ultimate from Godzilla was necessary, and he'll lose his top lane tower for it, as now there's a Nocturne, a Rift Herald, and a Shen sieging down these top lane towers.
Lotus White playing chess as Hawkthorne stuck playing checkers. St. Alucard able to toy around in the Twilight Shroud. He's going to be able to do his way around, dodging everything. There's the dominating kill, slicing through Matty Meister, trying to come into mid lane and gank the All-Pro first team mid laner when he's popping off like this. I don't think so. Counters now the prediction from Fire Streaks. Oh my god, Lotus White playing on another level in finals.
And right now they're trying for this Desperation class, but there's 2 members in the mid lane here and 4 collapsing on them. You don't have a numbers advantage. Despite everything going the wrong way in the bottom lane, they're still trying to make this play happen, but it's too little too late.
Taco coming in, as well as the Stand United keeping Alucard alive. Lotus White are storming through this game as they're going to be looking to pick up the 3rd dragon of the game, giving them a 2-1 advantage.
And this dragon has to be going over, and it has gotta feel awful for Arth, who needs these dragons for Shyvana to be a relevant champion. It makes her so strong with those bonus resistances and stats in her kit, but just not able to collapse like any of those here in this game, as once again it's just Lotus White popping off here in the early game with the team play, always having the numbers advantage seemingly wherever I look, and they're making it work for themselves here.
Are they going to continue their methodical extraction of wins as we've seen through the previous 2 games of finals here. They've been playing so well once they had a lead, and it's gonna happen, or it's gonna hope to continue here as they look to close out this potential 3rd and final game. Alucard exactly where he needs to be, 3 levels up. He knows he can just go in the perfect shuriken flip, and he goes godlike. Now he has to deal with Arth. Now he has to deal with Matty Mice. No shroud, but he's gonna try to buy himself some time as here comes the death bullet from the jungle. Smart Pants has Arth feared up under the turret. The 5-point strike is gonna take down everyone. The snipe coming in. There's counters answering back as he always somehow manages to do. Alucard going into the death realm, but he knows what position he is. He knows he has the flip, but he misses it. He is stuck in the shroud. There is counters looking for the shutdown. Firestreak's gonna try to keep the mid laner alive. The shield coming in as well. Godzilla looking to try to pick him down, but Alucard, the mad lad, Sulpin, he somehow gets out!
I can't believe it. He even makes it back to this to these fruit in the jungle as well, sustaining back up to full health. He's now actually a threat on the map here as Heartstrike Brother trying to find a solo kill here on Necroc in the bottom lane, just can't find the damage, and it's all falling apart here for Hawkthorne.
Counters just trying to stop backs, trying to stay aggressive, trying to find a way for Hawkthorne back to this game, but the taunt lands, the Glacial Fissure lands, everything is connecting as Lotus White just can't seem to find a miss. We saw Godzilla try to flash out there as the Stand United coming into the bot lane. Lotus White are willing all over the map, finding what they want. Alucard 3 levels up on Arth. He goes legendary 907, gonna try to dance around the dragon, but the dragon bites and gets a shutdown. Lotus White taking over this game.
22-9, 20 minutes in. They've found more than a kill per minute here, constantly rotating to fights, always finding the man advantage here with the Stand United, with the teleport, with the paranoia. Hawkthorne is struggling to find purchase in this game, and with this tower now falling in the bottom lane, they're eyeing the Cloud Soul, they're eyeing the Baron. Every objective on the map belongs to Lotus White.
Huge item advantages coming through now for Lotus White. Necroc's getting the Phantom Dancer online. Alucard, he's got the Zhonya's Hourglasses. He's a little sad over losing, I think, the Darksteel stacks there, but nevertheless, Lotus White, what else is there to say? Sulpin, they are styling here in Game 3. They are firing on all cylinders. They are in the driver's seat commandingly. Now with their hands on the steering wheel, just gotta look to find a way to push the gas pedal through and try to look to claim their title. Arth maybe has a pick now onto Necrox, who's gonna get stunned up. The Paranoia not gonna be able to save the Lotus ADC, but look at the Nightmare. Smart Pants dishing out so much damage. It is a 3v2, but there's the Alucard factor coming into the back line. He's gonna strike everyone down as the execution coming in. Look at the Shuriken flick onto the other direction. Counters didn't see it coming. Mac didn't see it coming. Alucard is playing out of his mind as Godzilla just gonna try to take down the Nightmare, but Smart Pants gets out. Godzilla gets concussed. Alucard once again helping finish him off. Firestreak's gonna finish him off.
Mac doing, why do I hear boss music? Oh my god, it's Saint Alucard with a steel chair from the side. Jumps into the fight, so much damage on the perfect execution. There was no way that... just impossible fight. No way in I'm speechless. There's nothing that they can do here. This Akali is just too dang far ahead, and his dive composition is fully online for Lotus White.
Alucard seriously putting on a show. 11-1 in 8, 19 out of 26 kill participation. Sulpin is the next dragon about to spawn in 20 seconds.
You'd expect to see that on the Shen, you'd expect to see it on the jungler or the Braum, but it's actually the Akali who's just making plays across the map, always roaming, always teleporting, and always where she needs to be to deal the damage. Hawkthorne Esports needs to find some kind of objective, some kind of foothold in this game. They found a few shutdowns for themselves, but they need so much more to climb their way back.
Look at Fire Streaks up 2 levels on Maddie. Mice is going to have that level 2 ultimate available. The Glacial Fissures have been so on point. Fire Streaks going the supportive champions always. No aggressive supports coming out of him, at least in this game. And he's been playing the role perfectly, making sure Necroc's in a position to succeed, making sure everyone's in a position to see, just like Alucard picking up another kill. He goes on a killing spree once again, as there's the concussive blows as they've been all series. 3-4 quick kills picked up for Lotus White across the map.
And the only thing preventing the cross-map ace is that Godzilla simply wasn't envisioned for them to dive on top of as well. Now eyeing the Baron, they only need 3 for it, but they're rotating the entire squad on over, looking to make this one quick as they look for this siege objective. This Baron power play will be massive for Lotus White.
This is going to be the earliest Baron for them all series, I believe. At 24 minutes, they secured the objective, and they are looking oh so good in purple. Now running back onto the Rift, looking to extend now their 11,000 gold lead, Sulpan.
Yeah, I'm really just looking at any way that they can find their way back into this game, but Hawkthorne Esports, their split pusher will get dove on. Their ADC will get dove on. Any 5v5 they try to take, they just don't have the advantage with the massive gold deficit here. It is so hard for them to find any kind of split push, to find any kind of team fight, to find a way back into this game. And right now, they're desperately holding onto this mid lane tower, but through this Baron wave, they don't even have the wave clear to get through these melees, as now finally able to make them fall. They will hold on this tower for just a little bit longer.
Artstuck brother looking for a flank over the wall, but you're exactly right, Sulpan. Not a lot of wave clear available. Something much different. And look at Alucard. He finds the flip. He finds his mark. He's looking to pick up the kill. One auto attack and a 5-point strike. Easily finishes off Godzilla, looking to get 2 legendary streaks in this game as Smart Pants waiting on the flank, level 15 on this Nocturne. There he goes, the Paranoia into the backline onto counters. He has the concussive blows, he's stunned up, he's taken down. Alucard goes unstoppable as Necroc's handling business in the back. It is an ace coming through for Lotus White as they absolutely decimate Hawkthorne Esports in the mid lane.
Saying Alucard didn't even need perfect execution on that top lane solo kill. He burns the flash of Mordekaiser, just casually walks up with the extra move speed of the Akali, picks him up, and then roams mid for the 4 versus 5 fight. They collapse completely onto Hawkthorne Esports, and now they're looking at least an inhibitor here.
Least an inhibitor picked up. They take down the one in the mid lane. Baron buff still active for about another minute here, I believe. Necrox and co just gonna head over into the jungle to clear through the camps. Necrox, did he get the, okay, I thought for a second Smart Pants stole away the red buff, which would have been really funny. I don't know if anyone else saw the video of Showmaker, I think it was, like punching a screen after someone took blue from him. I thought that was funny. I feel like Necrox would definitely do that in comms or something. He's picking up the Infinity Edge now, 3 items Sulpan for the Kaisa, as Alucard, excuse me, does have almost 2.5k gold as he's just picking up another kill. He goes godlike. He's about to go double legendary, 16 kills in game 3 finals. Just gonna try to kite back, and look, you can't even walk up to this guy. Misses the shuriken flip, but it somehow lands on a Matty Mice. There's the Paranoia into the backline. This is a 2v4 going the way of Lotus. Fight the shutdown does go over to HB, but here is Fire Streaks trying to pull off this fight. Necrox joining the fight as well. It's a 3-on-3 now, and Lotus White likes to take these kind of fights. Necrox more than happy to take him on in the Death Realm. Things are looking for Lotus White as the death timer's still short. Counter's going to be spawning up quickly here, but can he defend the base?
Quick math. It's an 11 level advantage cumulatively across the board here for Lotus White. They are so far ahead in gold, they are so far ahead in items, they are so far ahead in level. Their stats are just a giant unstoppable block that Hawkthorne Esports simply cannot face down no matter how well they played at this point. Lotus White has completely choked them out, and they're looking for the boss victory here as they take the last inhibitor on the map.
Zero turrets lost for Lotus White, only 1 dragon lost, as it's a 15,000 gold lead at the 28-minute mark. Alucard's got the Rabadon's death cap online, as well as some change Dark Seal stacks. Dragon gonna be spawning in 10 seconds here. Sulpin, the sole point and the cherry on top of this finals domination for Lotus.
Yeah, they're just picking this one up, honestly, to give Smart Pants the pat on the back that say, like, hey, look, congrats, you got your Dragon Soul. But they're actually just dancing around this objective. I'm not sure what's happening. They finally opt into taking it. Blast Emitters is still on the map, so they haven't completed the bot's victory dream. But here comes the fight. It's Paranoia.
There is the stand united on Smart Pants as well, immediately taking down Arth, who can't even make an impact on any potential fight. That's 2 quick kills picked up as Lotus White, number 1 in Light, gonna be looking to finish off this grand finals.
And there you have it. GG's coming out as well from the side of Hawkthorne. They know that they cannot face down this unstoppable squad. As we all live in a Smart Pants submarine, they're all just tunneling in on top of the Nocturne. Nothing to do about it. Super Minions on the Nexus. 5-3 on the Nexus towers here. They're looking to close this one out.
Respawn timers aren't coming soon enough as Alucard makes quick work of Godzilla. 1-2 Nexus turret done. There's counters taken down as well. Heartstuck Brother taking out Lotus White. They surround the Nexus. They dominate the Rift. They take over Light League. And ladies and gentlemen, they've got their crown. Lotus White are your Light League champions.
And a well-deserved fight. Undefeated here in playoffs, only dropping 4 games throughout the entire season. This is a team that has just been dominant through the entire series of Light League, and once again proving their mettle here against the number 2 team in Light League. They prove that they are the most dominant team we've potentially ever seen here within Excellency Esports, and they will crush through this final series.
They 3-0 CB Clockwork in semifinals after getting the quarterfinals bye. They 3-0 here in grand finals. What a season it was from Lotus White. Quickly before our post-game interview, we're going to throw it back to the analyst desk for a Game 3 breakdown.
Lotus White, Kings of Light indeed. A dominant showing coming out from them. Just absolutely impressive. Very deserving of their championship. Congratulations to Lotus White. And congratulations as well to Hawkthorne Esports. They still made the finals. They are still runner-ups, and although I'm sure this is not how they planned their finals to go, they were still here. They were still better than everybody else, but Lotus White was just too clean.
Yeah, better than everyone else, but not better than the team that win. Sadly, and that's the difference tonight. And even though I fully give credit to Lotus White, they were clearly the better team. They clearly played like the better team, and they executed like the better team. Hawkthorne, I think like the first 2 games they were without their main AD carry, and even then they tried to play around what they thought they could have won, and they were in instances where they could probably pull it off, but they couldn't in the first 2 games. And then in the 3rd game, even though the AD carry was back, sadly, I feel like it was way too late. The mental was probably a little bit broken. And as soon as the Fiesta broke down on the bot lane, it was just complete snowball out of control for Lotus White. And I gotta say, what a perfect name for Alucard to have as a... To me, it was the main boss in the whole series. He played so well in the 3 games. He executed how he had to do. He had so little deaths, I think, cumulative between every game. So his performance was beyond excellent, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, definitely game number 3, Mento was probably a little bit boom for Hawkthorne, like you said. And I will say, I think outside of their AD carry not being there was definitely just some mismatches in their lanes. Like you said, Saint Alucard in the mid lane going absolutely off this entire season. I think the support for him as well coming through from his support position, and then also the jungler, both Fire Streaks and... their jungler. Smart Pants, thank you. Jeez, name escaped me for a second there, but both of them really doing a good job propping him up, allowing him to get to the position to carry. So massive props to, both those players. Massive props to Saint Alucard and the entirety of Lotus White. I feel like it really just came down to the team knew their roles correctly. I feel like Fire Streaks on the support was just a little bit quicker on the roam. Smart Pants in the jungle, he was just a little bit sooner to the plays. And Saint Alucard and Necrox as well as, everybody on that team knew what their win condition was. They were able to play towards it, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, like you're saying, it was pretty crisp, clean gameplay from them, just doing whatever they needed to do towards achieving the victory. And this is nothing new. It's something that they have been doing all season long. They have improved as the season goes by, but this is something that they have showcased previously. And now I feel like it's probably the pinnacle of how they can play. Maybe they can become even better, but I feel like right now they are certainly showing that they were the best team in the league, and they just show it by winning as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely demonstrated that they are the best team. And now joining our casters for an interview, we do have the man that we just referenced, Fire Streaks, the support that was everywhere on the Rift. I'm going to toss it over to Mac Dewey.